What is going on, everybody? Welcome. Whoa, I chose the. There it is. Okay, I just really wanted his face to be as big as possible. What's going on, everybody? Surprise! We have a guest here on the show, and he's going to be there the entire time. And I just wanted to start with just a giant shot of Colin right there in the center screen. Let me just start by saying, please be gracious with Alex. It is currently 5 in the morning. He's had like 83 rock stars, so we have no idea what's going to actually happen during the show today. But luckily, we have Colin here to hopefully balance it. But welcome everybody to this April 25th episode of Intel Live, where today I think we have a really exciting show for you. Not only are we talking about Intel Core Ultra HX laptops and processors, but we're playing a game that all three of us, including Colin, is very excited about, and that's Clair Obscur Expedition 33. So it's going to be a jam-packed show. But before I get too far, Alex, do you want to do a little introduction to yourself and talk a little bit about who this just very fine-looking gentleman who is sitting next to us is, and what does he do, and what is his favorite down-under poisonous animal? Because everything in Australia is there to kill you. That's what everybody knows.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay, Alex, give him the intro. And then we'll obviously let Colin talk for himself. He is able to speak, but you know me, I have the gift of gab. I love life. But go ahead, Alex.
Yeah. Yes. So we're good. Good morning. Yes. Good morning, everybody. Yeah, you can see too much rockstar is not enough sleep. Good morning, guys. Good morning, everybody. I am live from Melbourne, Australia. As you might know, over here we are doing this thing called Intel Extreme Masters. Yesterday was day number 1. It was amazing. We had a great time. We had a bunch of things going on, and today is day 2. And with us, we have Colin. And Colin is here with us. He's going to be talking about all the latest HX processor we just launched, and maybe talk about a couple of laptops here and there. But with that said, I let Colin introduce himself.
Hey, yeah. So I'm live from Hillsboro, Oregon. So I'm a few hours ahead of you there, Alex. Luckily, I'm not up quite as early as you. But I'm a PME, which is a product marketing engineer here at Intel, and I work in the games marketing group. And I'm excited to come and share with you guys, not only about HX, but just to prove to you guys that yes, we are gamers here too, and I love the game you guys are talking about today. So hope to join that conversation.
Now we'll jump into gaming a little bit later, but Colin, just so people know, this game came out essentially it came out yesterday, right?
Yep.
And you and I had the exact same experience. Like I remember jumping in and being like, I'm gonna play it for like 20-30 minutes, just kind of get a taste for it. How far did you get?
I couldn't put it down. Honestly, it was I played 2.5 hours, and I got to the point where I was like, okay, maybe it's time to rest a little. And people came in and interrupted me, and I had to stop. I could have kept playing the game. It just blew me away. Amazing game.
Yeah, and I had kind of the same thing. Like I was just like, I just need to know a little bit more, and we'll talk a little bit about the premise here in a minute. Because even if I was explaining it to my wife, I was like, this game is so unique, even in the story it's telling, and then it starts off in a very melancholy way, but in such a way that you're so intrigued by what is actually happening that, I don't know, I just feel like the voice acting, the soundtrack, all that sort of stuff, when we get there, you guys will be blown away. But before we get too crazy and then completely go off script, and then Sarah okay, Sarah, I get it. She just has this like shocker thing that she has control of that reminds me that we need to get...
Way nicer than this. Way nicer.
It's not true. Help! No, just kidding. No, we need to talk about game news. And at the same time, the whole thing that we are here to do is to keep Alex entertained so he stays awake. Alex, how much... Okay, so let's say the show ends in about 2 hours. How much sleep do you get before you got to be on at IEM Melbourne?
I already got the sleep. So to answer your question, I went to bed at midnight, around 12:30. And I woke up an hour ago, which is 4 a.m. So I had about 4 hours of sleep.
Is there more sleep in your future?
What is that? Maybe
Oh
in the
my
plane.
God.
In the plane. There'll be plenty of sleep in the... Let me put it this way. I got on, so you guys don't know this, but the guys with us, but for the chat, I got on, not on camera, I got on live, and Sarah and Robbie are like, Alex, go splash some water on your face, go grab some coffee, do some push-ups and jumping jacks, and come back because we can hear, because the camera was not on, we can hear the crust is in your face.
Yeah, that is definitely true. You are, and I can tell that you're tired, but buddy, we appreciate you being a trooper and being here. Speaking of
Great
no
energy.
sleep, another game that came out that absolutely surprised me, and I'd love to get your thoughts on this, Colin. And I don't know if Alex, you've actually played this back in the day, but big surprise. Elder Scrolls came out. They said, hey, Oblivion Remastered, we're doing it. Oh, by the way, it's available today. And then go download it. And it's been like raving success. Now, people are saying whether it's a remaster or basically just a almost like a completely like a redo. Colin, have you had a chance to play this yet? I've spent about 3 hours in it, but wanted to know what your thoughts were.
I played the original a lot, but I have not had a chance to play the new one yet. I chose to go for the new IP with Expedition 33, and I will continue to play it until it's done because it's incredible. But I am definitely going to get back to this, and I've heard people even saying that it's not just a remaster; it's almost like a love letter to the original version. Bringing it just the amount of work that they put into it. So I'm really looking forward to it.
It is. So I would argue if this is a remaster, because I mean, of course, like you've seen, there's other remixes and stuff like that they've done, right? Which are where they'll do like a graphical enhancement like Portal 2 or Half-Life and stuff like that. This one is, it almost feels like a completely different game. And the thing that's so crazy about it is that the gameplay from Oblivion stands up to today, right? And as I was playing through it, there's a couple small things like I wish there was mini maps and stuff like that. But I've got about 3 hours in, and I got the goosebumps when Patrick Stewart started off at the very beginning, right? Because he's King Septim at the beginning of the game. But this Oblivion was one of my games, actually 1,000 out of 1,000 achievement points on this on the OG Xbox way back in the day. And then of course like the nefarious horse armor and all that sort of stuff. But guys, if you haven't had a chance, this feels like a completely new game. The gameplay stands up. It looks incredible. All done in UE5. Colin, I think that the good thing is Expedition you can finish in about 35 hours. But Oblivion, you can spend hundreds of hours in.
Yeah.
So just know that your life is gone for the next, 3 to 6 weeks,
Yeah, that game actually was the let me say that. Sorry, the chat of the talk
the talk of the yeah.
The talk of the town at IEM yesterday. Everybody, it was a little.
Yeah.
It is.
So-
It was so well, right? Like they set such a high bar for what remasters are going to look like, and very, 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 very excited about that. And just if you get a chance to play it, you should absolutely go play it, along with the 7 million other games that we need to go play, because there's no shortage of games to play right now, if I'm not mistaken. The next game we've talked about already, but obviously Game of the Year contender already. We've talked a little bit about this already, but Obscure Expedition 33 has arrived, and it's flying, and it's good, and please go support this by getting a copy, buying this game, because I have to say, like the French influence, all those sort of things, like it's just such a unique title and a love language to turn-based RPGs. Colin, your thoughts? Obviously, you've spent time in it as well.
Mind blown. It was not at all what I expected. Just the first few hours were there were scenes that were so haunting. I almost felt like I was watching like a Netflix thriller or something. It's just incredible work they did.
And then Sarah, I know how we got our copies and all that sort of stuff, but you actually were so excited about this. You actually purchased a copy of this game, yes?
I did. Now, I will also admit my PC is still behind me and not plugged back in since the last LAN event. So I need to do that first, but I plan on diving in this afternoon for sure.
And the other thing too is notice how Sarah used all of those words so strategically to just make sure that her gamer credit continued to go up. Because how many people they say, oh, I haven't plugged in my PC since the last LAN, I'm sorry guys, and oh, I got this really great game to jump into. And yes, I am epic, just so you guys know.
It was a week ago.
It was a week ago. I'll give her that.
No. But I mean, Sarah, so the thing is the other thing too is Sarah said, and Alex, she wanted to make sure that we said this on the show, that Sarah is going to be beating Claire Obscure Expedition 33 before the end of June. Like, that is her challenge. She said, I want to make it public. I want people to know I'm going to be beating this game. It's my next great accomplishment after Final Fantasy 16, which she had a really, really rough go at because a certain really awesome thing happened. Oh, sorry, a really sad thing happened that kind of dampened it. Just because she's where she is in the story, right, Sarah? That's what you wanted us to tell people today?
I'm mourning a little bit, so I think Claire Obscure is going to be a nice change of pace for a little bit.
Landsworth goes, June of which year?
I was thinking before the weekend was over, man.
Ouch, ouch. Nope, like, one thing, because I was looking at Claire Obscure and they said like Andy Serkis is actually a voice actor
really?
in there.
Andy
Serkis. He
Yep.
is. Serkis, sorry, Andy Serkis, I apologize. Yes, he's there, and the voice acting, and actually, we were talking about this with Colin when we were in the green room. We were saying like the music, it is amazing. The music that they have in there is really, really good. So
I think it's the first game that I would actually buy like the deluxe edition if it came with the soundtrack.
Right.
Because the soundtrack really is that good.
Yeah,
it's incredible.
You know, it was funny. I was watching some of the reviews just to get kind of hyped up about it, right? Because Sarah had given us our keys, and it wasn't quite live yet. And I think one of the things that I loved in the IGN review of it was he literally said there was so much good music that there were points when they were playing stuff I wanted to hear more of, and it wasn't played long enough, right? And I don't think I can think of another game outside of like maybe a Tales, Tales of Vesperia or something like that, where there was something that was at, where the soundtrack was at that level. But I am like just all up, And the other thing too is I don't know if you noticed this, guys, it was 42 gigs. Right, like Oblivion was 114, right? Like this is not a big game either, right? From just a size standpoint. So pretty impressed, anyway.
They also said that. Sorry, one last thing.
Yeah.
The studio, I think it's called Sandfall. It's a very small studio. It's like about around 30 people, and in order to achieve this, it's great. Like this level, you used to do this from AAA publishers, so it was pretty amazing to see this what they can do.
Yeah, and again, none of us have finished the game, so we don't know if it like ends in a place where we could see more in this universe. It feels like they've built something rich enough just from the little bit that I've seen where I'd love to know or see other stories, because this is just one like packet of humanity that's dealing with what it is in this whole thing. So maybe there's more. It'd be really exciting to see if what essentially happens. But I don't want to give any spoilers. And number two, I haven't made it that far, but I'd love to see more from this developer in general. Speaking of somebody we're always seeing more of, Alex. Alex is he's a man of the world traveler. He basically just goes all over the place. And currently he's chilling in Melbourne, Australia, dressed as a very large kangaroo. And so Melbourne is where you're at doing IEM, probably one of the coolest esport events. It's just how they do CSGO and getting to watch it. I think at the last IEM, I don't know if you knew this, Alex, but somebody actually drew a rare knife live on the show floor. Like the camera was watching it, and then he was opening a loot box and drew a knife. Like it was like one of the most rare knives in the game. It was crazy. So
that's insane. I mean, the whole energy of the whole event. I mean, from the tournament to the tournament also comes with the expo. People are just so excited. They can't get in. Like yesterday, the line. Yeah. The line was really, really long around it, and people were so excited. And we saw people dressed in all kinds of different things, and from their favorite teams' jerseys to bananas to. It was. I mean, the Aussies definitely have a great energy. They bring a great energy to Intellect Remastered. So it's been great to be here. I'm honored to be here to be able to share all that stuff and to be here to experience it. It's been a lot of fun. It's been a lot of learnings. I mean, from the slang to like, hey, Mecca's run, and I'm like, what? Mecca's run? He's like, yeah, Mecca's run. It's like, that means we're gonna go get McDonald's.
Oh,
so there's a bunch of the.
Oh, yeah, okay. Didn't know that. Yeah, that was not what I was expecting you to say. I thought maybe you got into a large fight with an Evangelion or something like that, or but here you are teaching us all the appropriate lingo. Yeah, okay. So here's a question for Colin here. Colin, If you've ever have you ever been to an IEM event? Just out of curiosity. Okay.
I have.
If somebody said you had to do a cosplay, showing up as a cosplay at an IEM, knowing that you're in front of a world-renowned cosplayer, who would you cosplay or what would you cosplay as?
Well, my favorite character is sitting behind me here, Deadpool.
Yes.
Oh!
And so I would probably pull out the Deadpool.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's just one of my favorite characters. So, and that was before Ryan Reynolds came in and made the funny movies. But I've always liked Deadpool.
Okay. Okay. Well, there we go. I don't know if we get this on the books, is we put it in one of our Intel Live wish lists, Alex. But Colin and Deadpool at IEM somewhere, right? Next to our global headquarters and our 600 terabyte. Intel Arc card that we're waiting for. But yeah, all in all, let's put it on the list. Let's get it in there so that way we have it. And then, by the way, guys, because of just how epic Alex's time has been over in Melbourne, we have a special video presentation for you. So be prepared, okay? Be prepared.
Hold on.
Hold on to your butts, because what we're about to show you gonna blow your minds, okay? So, and I don't know if you've gotten a chance to see this either, Colin, but here we go, guys. Here we go. Getting ready. I'm going to stop the music real quick, and we're going to see this incredible video that Alex made just for the people here at the Intel Live show. Here we go, guys. Here it is. Hopefully, audio plays like it's supposed to.
Crikey, look at that. There's some tracks of one of the most dangerous predators in the world. We gotta be quiet. Just follow me, folks. Just gotta be careful. Come on over. Careful with this, mate. This is one of the most rarest predators you'll see in the world. And it's right here with us. I'm so excited. It's right over there. You can see the beautiful aluminum chassis. Crikey. Wham! It went into defensive position. But it's okay, mate. I got you guys covered. I brought him a little something here. Don't worry. We'll be able to give a little closer look at them. It's okay, mate. You're good. You're good. All right. I got him here. It's all right. It's all right. All right. There you go, mate. All right. Oh, beautiful. Let's see if we can get him in his normal stance. All right. I'm going to drop his stick. Oh, look at that. What a beauty. This is the Predator Helios 14 using Intel Core Ultra processors. It's a gorgeous system. It's gorgeous. All right, mates, I hope you like here at Tech Hunter, and I'll catch you guys next time.
Alex! Okay, how many takes did it take for you to have to practice that accent? Because, that is actually really hard to do.
What you talking about, man? It was beautiful.
That was really good. That was really good, Alex. That was
cosplay plus.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, yeah.
Oh man.
So, a couple of things. We were shooting that, and the footage didn't make it here, but I was crawling. Well, maybe a little bit. I was crawling on the grass on the floor, and we caught. And then I'm standing there, and then one of the assistants comes in, the second cameraman comes in, and is like, "Hey guys, I think this is poison oak. Oh, there's poison oak there, and poison oak there, and poison oak there, and poison oak there." I'm like, oh my god, no. So all of us, as our 21st generation people, were on Google, what does poison oak look like? And taking pictures, and how long does poison oak take to react? And it was from 2 to 48 hours. I was like, no, I need to get in a plane.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
Long story long, I didn't get the poison oak, but I was crawling around poison oak.
Oh my gosh. Alex, that's so funny. Dude, I have to say, that video was really good. The idea was really well thought out too, right? But just your hair, just as you were working so much with your hair the whole time. So you definitely need to learn more about hair, Alex. We need to get more hair practice for you.
That was my complaint. During the shot. It's been so long that I forgot how to
manage hair. Okay, and then do we want to talk a little bit about this Let's Climb thing that's going on for IEM as well? I see it up over. So there's a Let's Climb Counter-Strike 2 thing going on. What's this?
Yeah. So what it is we started with Kato, and what it is we created a CS:GO map, And the idea for the one in Kato is you were supposed to get to the top of the Sputnik. Here, you're supposed to get to the top of the Love Arena. Love Arena? So I apologize, I'm probably not getting the name right. So the arena where we are, you're supposed to be jumping different obstacles. And one of those obstacles, or several of those obstacles, is actually the Acer Predator Helios 16 AI. So you are your CSGO character, and what it is you're just jumping all over the place. So pretty much it's testing your skills to see if you can actually make it all the way to the top. And I just realized I'm looking very fast, so I should slow down in the campaign.
Have you made it to the top?
No, I haven't tried it yet. But I saw that, yeah, they just released, so that's actually on Steam. So you can go and get it. I will look for the link while we keep on chatting to see what.
Okay. Oh, yeah, we'll get the link, and then I have actually the links in the Run a Show if you want to go check that out. And then speaking of other cool things, right? This one actually has nothing to do with Alex. But something that we just got finished doing, and I hope you guys get a chance to go watch this. But thanks to Falcon Northwest, obviously Intel, myself, we went to the Evergreen Space Museum in McMillanville, Oregon, and built the ultimate flight sim rig. This rig was over $20,000, and literally it was just a love letter to airplanes and fighter jets. I mean, even when I start the video at the very beginning, if you guys love planes,
biggest sale in history.
This is when you need to have YouTube subscription, because then you have ads. So here we're going to teach you about pods real quick. But even at the very oh good, I can skip now. Even at the very beginning, that is me inside of an SR-71, and so we built this really incredible sim rig. Showed you guys about how to do it, talked about it, and then of course powering that with the Intel Core Ultra 9 and of course a Falcon Northwest Talon. And the best thing about it, guys, is not only do you get to watch this amazing video, which I think came out very great, but of course, you know, I'm a little bit biased and I got to dress as a flight suit, but you can also win this custom PC. So if you guys want to go enter to win, it's available US, Canada, Mexico. Falcon Northwest did a very special theme just for this giveaway. It's a 265K with a RTX 5070 in it. And then again, you can see all the details there. It's available for people to enter now. And if you guys want to go get your chance to win, we'll get links for that open as well. So that was something else that we did that was kind of cool. So not only was Alex making really cool videos, I do want to let you know, Alex, there was no poison things, only airplanes. That was the only thing I was rolling around with. So I'd much rather be doing what I was doing versus what you were doing in that case. So,
hey, I'm envious you got to get in that SR-71. That's awesome.
Yeah,
I'm a little envious. That's it's amazing.
And they let me play with the flight surfaces and all that sort of stuff. Now, I actually grew up in Okinawa, Japan, and the SR-71 was stationed there, so we used to watch them take off along with F-15 Strike Eagles. And so I've been an airplane nut my entire life. I know how there's some tech folks who are like car people. I'm also a car person, but I'm more of a flight person. And so one of the things that we're working on is we're actually doing my private pilot's license. So there's going to be some footage and stuff that we're doing with that. But I thought it was just a really neat opportunity. And I got to tell you, Alex, we'll have to have you come up here and try that rig, because that rig is amazing with all the motion and stuff like that. So it's a really, really, really neat, really neat experience. So it ended up coming out so cool. Okay.
That's awesome. I haven't watched it, so I can't wait to go check it out. So good job with that, man. Appreciate
And then
it.
we have some other giveaways, guys. Another one that's up and available right now, and we're just going to go through giveaways really quick because there's some really cool stuff going on here. If you guys want to win this CyberPower PC, we partner with Intel and CyberPower to talk about creator PCs. And this is one of those things that, you know, a lot of people don't know about some of the benefits of AI. And this actually surprised Alex a ton. We actually did some of our testing using XSplit and using the NPU on the Core Ultra, and got up to 20 to 30 frames back, even when using the 5080 here. And so we have a bunch of data and stuff for that. But essentially just talking about that, what it is like, what you need when you look at a creator PC. So whether you're a streamer, a video editor, music, all those sort of things, great video on that. And on top of that, we're giving this system away. It's their Infinity XLC gaming PC. This closes in about 5 days. US only, unfortunately, just given the cost, but absolutely amazing opportunity. So if you want to get in on that, you can go and check that out as well. So that giveaway is happening as well, and going from there. So yeah. Lots of things to win, and we have one more giveaway too, right, Sarah, that we are covering for Assassin's Creed Shadows, yeah?
Yeah, there's still some game code giveaway. So I'm dropping the link into the various chats, but games.intel.com, we've actually got 3 different game code giveaways going on right now.
Yep. Well, there you go. So all of those are available, things that you guys can get in on and potentially walk away with a really, really epic system. So yeah, lots of awesomeness there. And I think we made it through. Did we do it in the right amount of time, Sarah? Or are we in trouble?
Oh, we have one more.
Oh, we have one more.
We're a
wait,
little
there's
late.
more.
That's okay. We have some community challenge winners.
Oh, I have that.
So,
Nice.
congratulations to all of those that put in the PC part picker challenges. Love doing these challenges with the community. Well, I'll put a vote and see if you guys want to continue to do these. But we do have some winners that we want to show on screen. So early GGs for all of our winners here.
And there it is right there. There's the winners. I've just learned in all of my years of being a streamer, reading the names, just not gonna happen. I try, it just never comes one. It never comes across.
You're like me speaking English, putting the emphasis in the wrong syllable.
Exactly. So yeah, anyway, congratulations to the winners. There they are right there on the screen. I love the challenges. I personally, so again, please go make your voice heard, discord.gg/intel, and let folks know if this is something that you guys want to see more of. And then huge shout out to Newegg for dropping those build mats. Those build mats are actually really, really nice. I love the color scheme
really
too.
Nice.
Yeah, they're really nice.
And those are brand new sweatshirts that we've got too. So brand new swag.
Look at that, brand new swag. And you know what amazes me, Sarah? Those sweatshirts and like the jackets with the dye on them, very popular. Mm-hmm. Very popular. People love those things. Like we gave out some at DreamHack Dallas, and like when we went to PDX Land, those guys were the belle of the ball. They were like, "Where did you get that?" And we're like, "I'm sorry, they're all gone. We're gonna have some newer ones." But they were genuinely angry. Like we had to fend people off with that stick in Alex's video, right? Like we were pushing people back because they wanted that. They wanted that swag.
We cover PDX Land pretty well, so we give those guys a lot of love. But yeah, I love dropping new swag and updating, with those various jackets and that kind of stuff with new generation. So these ones are brand new. We've got an Air Lake and we've got a Lunar Lake jacket now. So look out for those.
Okay, well there you go. More awesome on the way, and then your chance to win some. And then we're dropping some swag today, right? Like during the show,
we are.
People get a chance to get in and get on some swag. So what are the giveaways for today's show?
We do have swag kits today, so there'll be a number given out on both Discord and our Twitch channel. So tune into one of those for your chance to win.
Okay, well there you go, guys. That is it. And now it's on to the meat of the show. Why Colin is here. Even though he's excited about Claire Obscure Expedition 33, we're actually here to talk about Core Ultra Series HX processors and all of those things. But for those who don't know what you do, Colin, can you give us like a little bit more of like your day-to-day at Intel, and just giving us so that way people kind of understand why you're here on the show and what we're gonna, and then kind of frame up what we're gonna talk about here.
Yeah. So day-to-day, I work in the marketing, gaming marketing segment in our segment organization, and so day to day, a lot of what I do is create presentations that our executives then use at events like CES and IEM, and so I'm the guy who's behind the scenes writing scripts, creating slides, and then anytime I get a chance, I can come out and talk to you guys because I kind of know more than most of them do when it comes to, because I'm the one creating the content. But daily I love to participate in these type of things with you guys. I go out and talk to retailers. Sarah and I are getting together with PDX Land. I love that event too because I'm here in the area. So a little bit of everything, but marketing for games is a big thing. So
that's awesome.
The other thing I want to include there, Colin, that I think you're selling yourself short. You're also, you are a geek by nature nerd, and you've done. Your background is a technical background, so
yeah. I started Intel '99, so I've been with Intel for many years. I've done a lot of different roles, and this is by far my favorite. Not just because it's in gaming, but it's because I get to talk to people, get to talk to retailers and customers, and talk to people at CES and IEMs, and get really excited about our products because we've got some great stuff to talk about.
It's awesome. Well, thanks, man. Okay, so we want to talk about today. Well, we did launch these processors, So, well, let me step back. We're seeing a lot of new laptops coming in today. Well, not today, but the last couple of weeks, months. And the latest one that we have seen launch come with the HX processors, right?
Yep.
So those are the ones just came, and that's well, I'll let you know. So what are these HX processors? I'm gonna make it like I don't know anything.
Let's get simple. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm fine with
that's
that.
awesome.
I'm fine with that. So, back at CES, we announced a couple of different processor lines, and when it comes to our mobile side, we're kind of broken up into, 3 big categories, depending on whether you want a really thin and light laptop, whether you want a somewhat thin and light laptop that's still powerful enough to play games on, or if you want the highest end kind of desktop, desktop, I don't want to say level of performance, but caliber of performance. And so, way back in September, we launched our V processors, series processors that for the really, really thin and light. And then, at CES, we launched H and HX, and both H and HX will be available with discrete. HX, all systems will have discrete graphics, and they're all going to be the newest generation of discrete graphics. But about half of the H systems out there will also be available with discrete graphics. The difference being HX is a port of our desktop processor. So you're getting 24 cores, you're getting 8 performance cores, 16 efficiency cores. It's really the top end, frequency-wise, performance-wise. The best of the best of what you're going to see is going to be on these HX platforms.
Okay, the one thing that I want to address is people are talking here in the chat. Gosh, I need some more coffee. One of the questions is like, okay, we're talking about like technical marketing engineer. So, can you tell us a little bit more about that? Because they're saying that if you do marketing, can you do engineering? Like, what's the difference? And I was a technical marketing engineer in a previous life.
I was too.
I'll let you answer.
I was too. In fact, I started off as more of an IT administrator, but my degree is kind of a mix between computer science and marketing. And so, I first moved into that TME role that you're talking about, which is the technical marketing engineer. And these are the guys who, at all of these events, they're the ones that build all the demos that are brought to the events. They're the ones that are behind the scenes, making everything happen. I kind of graduated from the TME to the PME side, which means I'm a little less hands-on with the hardware, except for at events. I don't know, I kind of pride myself as kind of being a TME too, because I like to help build and set up, and I still like to get hands-on. And so this role gives me the chance to do a little bit of that too. But a lot of what I do, it's a mix between, really getting out, playing games. I love playing games on my own, but also experimenting with new ideas, new ways to talk about our product, new ways to use our product, and then, make sure that people understand all these capabilities are on it. And hopefully people, aren't looking for one particular thing in the processor, because nobody does just one thing. You're using it for productivity, you're using it for creation, and you want, the best all-in-one that can do a little bit of everything. And that's what we bring with our latest Core Ultra processors.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. And just to kind of close this question, I was also a long time ago a technical marketing engineer, just like Colin, and one of the things I had to do was go meet with different of our customers, and for example, help them when it came to define, or at least trying to define. For example, when we're launching the new socket R that is known as the LGA 2011, there was a lot of different specifications that we needed to figure it out with them. So I was the one representing Intel, talking to like Cooler Master, Zalman, and all the different going to them, telling like, hey, these are the new specs. We need to make sure that it works correctly. Also, when new power states were launched, I had to go and talk to all the different power supply makers and tell them like, hey, this is how the power is changing. This is like the new modes of sleep mode. And we were pretty worried back then because one of the sleep modes, was so low that it was triggering power supplies.
Yeah, you remember you telling me about this. Yeah.
Well, yes, that's always turned off. So long story long, even though we have marketing in the title, there's a lot of technical behind it. So
Oh yeah.
yes.
And that, there's it just gives you an idea of the wide range of engineers that exist at Intel. You've got everything from people who engineer specifically for the product. They know the product in and out, which is what I'm here for. My team does advocacy out to the big OEMs like Dell, HP, Lenovo, and all the OEMs. They go out and they talk to them about, what's coming next in the next line. What are they building into their next laptop? We've got connections into many different companies that are doing all kinds of innovations in laptop designs. And so we go out and we share all of this as much as possible with our customers so that we're driving, the best experience we can with our users. And so there's a that's a big part of what we do in the team that I'm on. And then the opposite side of the funnel, which is more of what I'm on, is the launch and then getting it into retail and making sure the retailers are telling the right stories. Because like you said, when you just started asking me the question, not everybody knows everything.
Yep.
And the typical consumer just we have to be able to talk to them and educate them, and that means educating the retailers, making sure that people know what they're coming in to buy and understand it before they walk out the door.
Oh, okay.
All right. Sorry, I just got. I heard a little spark over here.
Are you okay?
No, yeah. Well, no. Thank you. I just want to make sure that people understand because it can be misinterpreted when you have
when you have marketing in the title.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So why don't we start with the brass tacks then, Alex? So why don't you just tell us what is different when people think of like the old 14900 HX and then now we're going to Core Ultra Series HX. What is the difference between the two? Tell us about what makes these special and why they're so awesome.
Okay. So, when we moved to Core Ultra, one of the biggest things that we did was we moved away from a monolithic die to a tile-based CPU architecture, meaning that we have multiple little chiplet tiles that are almost like Legos that are stacked on top of a substrate. And we have one that's purely the SoC, we have one that's the cores and the processing, we have one that handles I/O. And then we have the fabric underneath, and so it's a really major. Even though you look at it and you say, oh, it's 24 cores, but it's a major overhaul to that design because we moved to this chiplets. Part of the benefit of the chiplet is we don't have to have the same process technology going into each of those little dies. We're able to use different processes from different fabs and stack those together to make one good processor. And Core Ultra, we added in a lot of good stuff too. We added in the NPU, we added in better graphics than we've had before. We have had graphics before, but we updated the graphics to the latest, some of the latest gen of our Xe Core graphics. One of the things people notice right away is we don't have as many threads because we don't support hyper-threading anymore, which tends to be a question of why do we do that? Well, that's partially the additional processing to do that takes up space on the chip.
Got it.
And we only have so much space on the chip. And the other big difference is if you think back to the core, the first core Duo, back when we started hyper-threading on the Pentium even, the reason we did that was because instructions would kind of they would get stalled. They would back up because there's not enough threads to pass them all through. So we started doing hyper-threading. Well, now that we've got 24 cores on the system, we don't see that same issue anymore. And so they were basically just taking up extra space on the CPU die and not really being used. Immediately they were just like, well, that's definitely going to affect your multi-threading performance. Well, our cores, being the fastest cores Intel has ever put out, most efficient cores we've ever built on a processor, they're just so much more efficient. We are able to get, upwards to 30-35% better multi-threaded performance, even with the reduction in threads. So, it definitely didn't affect performance. In fact, it helped us, do some better things with efficiency while also keeping really good high performance on the processor.
Okay. Yeah, now one of the questions that are coming up there is that they're asking, just from chat, because I want to make sure they get to, it's like, is there a way to think about the breakdown of P-cores versus E-cores in this one? Like, how does that work out? You just talked about the hyper-threading thing, so that you answered that question. But when we think about P-core, E-cores for, for the different ones, how do we think about those?
Well, we started off with P-core and E-core with 12th gen. So we've had it in 12th gen, 13th gen, 14th gen, and now with Core Ultra. But what we've done is we've had, this is 4 years that we've had our Thread Director technology, which comes in and through Thread Director and different power management, we're able to push threads to certain cores or, certain parts of the CPU based on how fast the CPU cores are. Maybe the 5th core out of the 8 P cores is the fastest, so we'll make sure we put the highest need there, where maybe you have some less needy processing that's happening. Maybe it's background things that are running. It makes sure that those get moved over to the efficient cores. And so, a lot of people don't understand this, but it's almost like having two computers, because we're able to handle megatasking better than we ever have before. And when I say that, megatasking is different than multitasking. Multitasking is, hey, yes, I'm doing a couple things, and I'm able to keep it all running. Megatasking is you're doing major processing. So let's say you're in a video editor and you start a render, and everybody knows that, depending on the length of the video, could take minutes, could take hours. And in, several generations ago, that would pretty much make your computer useless. Everything would slow down until that render got done. Well, now we have the capability of kind of, pushing that render off to the efficient cores. Maybe it'll take a little bit longer, but I don't care, because my system is back, it's live, and I can do whatever I want on it. So I could be rendering and decide to start playing a game and not have any issue with it. So that, that is the benefit of our hybrid technology, is the ability to do that.
Okay.
So, and quick thing, when you not only you mean when you said the fastest cores, but we also know by that also you mean we have improved the instructions per cycle, right, to make it that fast.
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, they're not as fast frequency wise, but it's there. That's where our efficiency kicks in. We're able to get much higher IPC, those instructions per clock you're talking about, out of the cores at lower power levels even. So if you compare Core Ultra, the 200 HX series we're talking about, to 14th gen, we're able to get the same performance from the CPU at about half the power.
Yeah, which is crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is pretty impressive. And one of the things, just to kind of go back to the multi-threading, multi-threading is not free, like you were saying, from a transistor, from a transistor side, right? So you need also transistors and circuitry to enable to order those parallel threads, and that means power and
Absolutely.
power consumption, right? And that's why we want to, this is the design for laptops. We want to make sure that we are conserving as much power as we can, and like you said, that's where we see it when we're doing the same performance at half the power.
Yeah, and part of that's not only conserving for battery life, but it means that when you unplug your system, you're not going to get reduced performance. And that has been, kind of the plague of many laptops for many years, is yes, when you're plugged in, you get this amazing performance, is all working great, but when you unplug it, things tend to slow down. Well, because of our efficiency and the efficiency gains we've made in the processor, we're able to keep a lot of that performance back, pour it back into the system without losing battery life. So it's an experience not only with the length of battery life that you have, but also the performance of the system itself doesn't lack.
So we had kind of an interesting question that I thought might be interesting to throw in here, because you were talking about, and both of you guys were talking about economy of space specifically on the chips. Somebody said, why not just make the chips larger and the motherboards making them bigger for more efficient cooling? And I don't think people kind of grasp what that necessarily means for form factors and lots of other things, even cooling, etc. So when somebody asks that question, they're like, why not just make bigger chips? What's kind of the answer there? Because I know there's more to it than that.
Well, there's a lot. Yeah, there's a lot more to it than that. If you look at a game system from, maybe 4 or 5 years ago, these things were like, 2 inches thick, and that was purely because they needed the power and the cooling capability to get the performance out of the processors at the time. With the chips that we have now, we're able to, and the funny thing is, generation after generation, the highest end laptops tend to top out at about 225 watts. Now, if you guys are out there with your desktops and you're going, oh yeah, I've got my 800,000 watt, desktop, and on the laptop, we're basically playing with a budget of 225 watts, and that's for the CPU and the GPU. And so, being able to get really good performance out of the CPU, keeping it at its 55 watt. Obviously, if you with our power management, if you're running an application that's very CPU intensive, we can give it more power if we need to. And it can, it'll free up power from the GPU and give it to the CPU to get the best performance. But in most cases, we're gaming, and we want the CPU to performance at its best at a good power level. And we really want to keep, these HX, the processors are set at 55 watt. These are 55 watt power envelope processors. H was like 35 to 45. And then if you look at our V, they're more like 15 watts. So, part of it all, works into that overall budget for thermal capacity that you have. And the laptops have to be able to dissipate enough cooling, and the power has to be there to be able to support it. Well, a big part of reducing the size of the chip, instead of you make it bigger, basically you're making a bigger heater.
Right. That's the key thing. Yep.
That is the key thing. You're making a bigger heater, and that means you need more cooling, you need more power to keep it powered, and you really don't have the budget to do that on a laptop. And so the whole idea is we reduce, and with Arrow Lake specifically, Core Ultra, our 200 HX series, we reduced the chip size by 33% over 14th gen. And that is basically, I should say, from 10th to 14th gen. It's always been that same size. So this is our first time we're actually reducing the size of the chip for the highest end processors here. And our OEMs love it, because, like I said, it's less, it's a smaller heater, gives them more capability of putting copper and fans and whatever they need to keep it cool, because if they keep it cool, they get better performance.
Yep.
And so laptops are just very, very different than desktops when it comes to tuning, because you have that strict power budget that you're dealing with.
I think.
And yeah.
Oh, good. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was just saying, I think the thing that people need to realize, right, is like, I remember back, so I was a game developer before this, working at Microsoft, and I remember my first Alienware desktop replacement. Right now, what I have in front of me is the new SCAR with the HX processor. This thing weighs literally still half of the weight of the other one too. And so somebody was saying, like, gamers don't care about wattage. Actually, they do it, but they do it without thinking about it. I can carry this laptop now in a carry-on or whatever it was, and this can be a desktop replacement, a true desktop replacement, which, with that Alienware, man, I think I had to check that thing because it weighed like 30 gajillion pounds, right?
Did it have 2 power supplies?
Yeah, exactly.
I was going to ask you about the power bricks.
You had 2 power bricks.
The power bricks.
Yeah. And I think what people aren't understanding is that, like, what we're starting to see, and a great example is things like the ROG Zephyrus and all those ones, where you're starting to see this merger of thin and light plus gaming together, where now gamers actually have the opportunity to play on what are essentially form factors that didn't exist before. That's not to say that, things like the SCAR and stuff like that don't have a place. The MSI Raider, all those other ones, these like high-end, the Titan, these high-end desktop replacements. But now you're starting to be able to merge those things because the chips are getting smaller and you're able to do more because of it. So even though people say gamers don't, that's actually not true. There are more gamers who have opportunity to get form factors that allow them to do both, because of the size and the wattage reduction that these guys are talking about. So I think it's just, I think a lot of times you don't actually understand what you're getting when people like you guys are doing what you're doing to the form factors and the chips.
Yeah. And like, you have to keep in mind, right? Like you said, it's a shared budget between the whole system.
Yeah.
And it's a confined system that
Yep.
you have to keep cool. So there's a lot of interesting, there's a good engineering challenges in there. And like you said, Robbie, for being a desktop replacement, just imagine, the difference in size, the airflow, everything. It is pretty impressive when it can be done. So yeah, it's great on that manner. One thing I wanted to ask you, Colin, is like, for example, since we're talking a little bit about performance, memory. This guy has a pretty good memory speeds. Can you tell us a little bit more about on
Yeah,
that side?
yeah. So we did inherit some of those benefits from desktop, where you've seen world record memory speeds
Yeah.
being beaten with the 285K. It seems like every week there for a while there we had a new record set. So we kind of inherit that in the laptop. Getting back to that tile structure that I was talking about, the memory controller is now in the SoC tile. So it's not part of that monolithic die anymore, which means we're a little more sensitive to memory latency than previous generations have been. Now what that means is faster memory is going to actually improve your gaming performance. So we just launched the 200S boost program, and part of that is boosting your XMP memory speeds on desktop to be able to get the fastest performance possible and keep your warranty with our 200S boost program. Unfortunately, we can't really do that on laptops because laptops are tied down by the OEM. So there's a lot that we can do on the laptop. We can still, there are certain pieces we can overclock, but it really depends on the manufacturer, because they, being that it is a constrained system, you can't swap parts out as easily as you can on a desktop. They don't want you to mistakenly destroy your laptop by trying to overclock it too much. So they put some guardrails in there. Usually there is some performance tweaks you can do to make it faster. But when it comes to memory speeds, we're really excited to support 6400 mega transfers on the notebook. We've said on desktop the sweet spot for overclock memory is about 8,000, somewhere in there.
Wow.
But we're without going switching gears on the memory, sweet spots around 8,000. But unfortunately on laptops, not only are you constrained by the OEMs, but we're dealing with SODIMMs.
Yeah.
And so the SODIMMs that are out there they're topping out around 6,400. They don't really jump a lot higher than that. But just having that increases our performance. There's a lot of learnings that we gathered from launching the desktop product, and we've been able to kind of make the tweaks and make sure the systems are ready to give you the best performance out of the box with these laptops.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, it's pretty interesting. Actually, I was thinking about it. Like you said, like, yes, for desktop you have you can hit those speeds. Apologize on my lack of English. But on the on the laptop, it makes it a little bit more difficult, right? Because on the desktop, you have all this real estate for the motherboard that you occasionally can use. But when it comes to the laptop, since the motherboard's a lot smaller, you have to create more layers in order to route that. So you run into a lot of issues of routing, crosstalk, and also cost. So it's like that perfect balance between trying to figure it out, like, you hit the performance, make sure that it works, right? Because you don't want any interference going on, and also be able to deliver that cost performance for everybody.
Yeah. One of the good things, though, being that we do have this overclocking capability.
Yeah.
From the desktop side, we support APO, our performance optimizer. So even on HX laptops, you can get performance optimizer working with our desktop tuning utilities, which will provide even better performance out of the box for many of the games that we support. APO in itself, performance optimizer, it's a tool that if you launch a certain game, it reconfigures your system to use the right number of cores, to process to get you the best performance you can. It's really no different than configuring a video settings or something. You're just reconfiguring your CPU to work best with that game.
And the funny thing is people are saying, like, that we always say desktop replacement, and I think that talking about the form factor, and one of the things that's really great about having a form factor like the SCAR or whatever it was the things where you can do overclocking and undervolting. But I think the other part that people don't realize is that these laptops, especially for those people who need the mobile portability that a laptop provides, right? Like for instance, when we're going to Computex, I mean, video editing and ad agencies, specifically on-shoot editors who basically are looking at, hey, I'm going to do, I need a render of whatever this cut was because I need to make sure if we're going to reshoot or whatever it was. This power saves time for those people. The faster this happens, right? And that was one of the things that was so impressive about, specifically the Core Ultra architecture, is how well it works in like Puget Bench with Premiere and all those other things too, right? So a lot of people don't understand, like, the more this gets efficient, the longer that it can do, the longer that we become untethered. I know these still require, these still don't have the longest battery life, but the thing is that the multi-threaded performance and all that stuff, specifically for video editing and everything else, saves company time and money, and because of the weight reductions and the different form factors, just allows you to be more effective remotely. So there's a lot to be excited about, and it almost feels like, I don't know if you feel the same way, Colin, but ever since we've had these new processors and this new architecture change, it's almost like this new golden era of laptops that things are changing, not just with a little bit with just what laptops are capable of comparatively to what they were even 4 or 5 years ago.
Absolutely.
I mean, last year when you and I were at Computex and I show up with a spacesuit, we actually streamed from the laptop.
Oh yeah.
If I recall correctly.
Yep.
So
I mean, dude, it was crazy. We went off on the Core Ultra series on a Core Ultra Series 1. We actually did the Zephyrus, and that streamed the entire one whole 4-hour stream with us moving around. That was something I could never do before. So for those people who really use these, power users who really use these things, especially from a mobile standpoint, this crap is very exciting, guys. I know some people are like, why not just have a desktop? Because you can't take it on a plane. It's like, you really can't. You know what I mean? Like, people are like SFF, but then you have a monitor and a power. This is way easier. And it's so close to desktop now. It's impressive. Yeah.
Yeah, that was actually what before I was heading over here to Australia. I was like, well, we should just get a small form factor. And then you said exactly the same thing that I thought. I was like, well, monitor and a keyboard. Like, all right, I'm grabbing this laptop.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep. I think I was at CES maybe last year, or before, and it was the same thing. You looked at the production back room.
Yeah. And
it's just stacks of identical Alienware laptops.
Yep. Yep.
Because they're so much easier to pack and travel. And then, on the professional side, I don't want to get into mobile workstation much, but when you think about architects, you think about 3D developers who have to be on site somewhere, but this is opening up capabilities they've never been able to do before.
Exactly.
Yeah, and so it takes a while for people to realize just how powerful these systems are. Yeah,
and I think that's the part that I don't think people are really grasping is how close that these things are actually competing against their desktop counterparts at 55 watts. That's the part that's so impressive, right? So, which is crazy. Do we want to talk about AI, Alex? Because I know it's one of those things, but I mean, it's here. It's making changes. Like believe it or not, there are actual things that are impacting stuff. So, do we want to talk a little bit about that? Yeah. What's AI? Grok. What's AI? Just kidding.
There's kind of a myth out there that gamers don't need AI.
We use them the most.
And what people don't realize is, we do. We use it a lot more than you would imagine.
Yeah.
And so, we kept hearing this story of, I don't need that one. It has AI. I don't really care about that. Well, with the new NPUs that we put in, first of all, we've been building AI in our CPUs. I just looked, and OpenVINO is on its 7th year.
Right.
So we've been building, tools for AI for our processors for many years, and it's just with this last year where we added the NPU, which is a neural processing unit. Some people call it a tensor processing or a vector processing or a vision processing unit, but in essence, it's another little CPU block that's on the processor meant to do low-level inferencing for AI. And so the whole idea is we have something on there that can do this. It takes it away from the CPU. It takes it away from the GPU. And, we talked a little bit about, if you're streaming, for example, being able to take that background removal and some of the effects that you put and move them off your GPU and onto the NPU that's sitting there ready for it, you know, not only does the NPU run at much lower battery, so it can do sustained a lot longer without affecting things, but it allows your GPU to do what it was meant to do, which is, you know, render frames, play games, get high frame rates. And so there's a lot of that, you know, that's kind of the essence of what started AI in gaming. But we also have some other stuff that we've had out there for a while. XeSS, you know, uses AI. It's about performance. So in the gaming space at Intel, we came up with 5 pillars that we're loading pipelines for, basically, for different applications that support AI in gaming. And those include performance, which is, you know, the XeSS. It's the offloading of the stream, you know, to give your GPU more performance. That's kind of the performance pillar. We've got several applications working up in that. We have experiences as a second pillar, and experiences, you know, you're already seeing NVIDIA Ace is trying to put their own version up.
Yep.
It's a lot of, you know, making the players more, you know, like real people, the non-playable characters, making them smarter,
Yep.
making them, you know, be able to do things and not have dumb enemies that don't even hide from you when you shoot at them. You know, being able to add some of that into it. That's more in that experiences category, or even how you play the game. You know, a lot of people, we have a tool that will let you, you know, play the game using facial gestures and using, you know, your hand movements and your voice instead of, you know, because you may not be able to use a controller. That's all you know, it's all AI around experience. The last three, the 3 pillars are kind of a little bit harder because we're really in the early versions of them. One of them is create and share, which is similar to the streaming, but think of it more as highlight creation. You know, automatic highlights of the game that you just played that get pulled
Yep.
out and form a video for you. The 4th one is community, and so we're working with, you know, some of the voice developers and people to add things like anti-toxicity into our audio chats, so we, you know, if you don't want to hear the bad words, you can cut them out. So, and then the final one, and the final one's one of the ones that gets me most excited, and that's coaching. And so this is a new big thing, and a lot of people think, you know, is it cheating? No, it's kind of like having a coach stand behind you and tell you, hey, you shouldn't go there, you should go over there. Somebody who's smart and knows the game. And so we have applications that are being built. One of them is called GGQ, and hopefully you guys will be able to feature and talk about that some as they launch. I think they're launching in North America in May, but they've launched in Korea for League of Legends. And if you can imagine, it uses AI to look at your little character map. It follows along where you are, and it helps make suggestions on how to be a better player. So, you know, AI it's just in its beginnings, but at Intel, you know, we made sure we put these NPUs into all of our platforms, you know, up and down the stack, because we have a lot of applications that are going to start making use of it. And like I said, it uses less battery. It can run for sustained times without, you know, causing more heat and stuff like that. So we're really excited about the direction that it's going. And, you know, all this stuff that I'm talking about, it didn't need a huge NPU to do it. It just takes, you know, it'll use what we have. And on top of that, we have, like I mentioned, OpenVideo has been around for 7 years. So we have 150 developers who have developed more than 400 features in things like Photoshop, Premiere, After Effects, Autodesk Utility, you know, Magic stuff, Cyberlink stuff. There's so many applications that are building, you know, AI into their workloads, and they make use of the NPU that we have on the platform. So we're excited to see how it'll go. We also know it is really in its infancy. It's gonna blow up in the next few years.
And I think that was the thing that we like. You know, when people are looking for, especially as the adoption gets higher level, right? Like, you know, when we talked about in the CyberPower example of on the NPU on the Core Ultra 9 285K, in that case, like I said, we were seeing significant frame rate jumps between offloading that camera blur. People don't know how expensive that stuff can be for people who are creators and streamers. So you're talking about even on a 5080, you know, you're 30 to 40 frames sometimes per second that you're getting back in that case. So if you guys go watch that video, that is a prime example, and that is something that exists in XSplit now, right? So as you see more of these, you'll see Streamlabs OBS. I know NVIDIA is working on their similar stuff, right? But NPUs on a CPU, this is stuff that, you know, it's just free, it's low cost, it's low thermal impact, right? And again, if they can throw it somewhere else and then the GPU gets to do what the GPU needs to do best, that's always a good thing, right? So I think there are real examples that exist now. And then truth be told, like, I know this isn't necessarily derived to the NPU, but XESS and all of those things, that's AI everybody's using all the time. Like, gamers use it more than anybody. We use AI a lot for all our upscaling and all that other stuff. So like we are like, it's almost like we're back talking. We're like, we don't need AI. What are you talking about? Half your 60, 80 to 5% of your games that you're using use AI all the time. So it's just kind of funny.
And the example you said was the 5080.
Yeah.
I can tell you right now that if you go to a 5070 or a 60, the impact is even bigger.
Yeah.
So So if you're running one of these, it makes sense to make sure you're using the NPU for streaming. I mean,
so it's going to be cool.
Otherwise, you're giving away frames that are there to take.
Yeah, and this is stuff that, and especially on those things, when you're on that bubble, right, between like, especially high frame rate, high refresh rate gaming, like Fortnite, your first-person shooters, your where you can go to 360 hertz or whatever it was, and you need those 40 frames can make a big difference, right? Especially if at that higher skill level. So there's definitely some opportunities, and I mean, believe it or not, there are gamers who want this stuff because they just don't know the impact it actually has on the overall GPU. So what's next, Alex? What's next in the land down under?
The next in the land down under is just a quick question. Like, okay, so we've been talking about the whole architecture, everything. What, like, how many designs, or like, where can I find one of these? And, you know, I'm really excited to get one of these.
So, you know, we would have loved to have brought these things out back in January or February, but we were kind of waiting to make sure we have the latest generation of graphics. So, HX, we have 40 plus designs out there that are going to be available. I know Rovi's got one on his desk, one of the ones that we're anticipating. So those you can get your hands on. You know, if you're lucky enough to get one that's still for sale, because a lot of them are sold out already.
Yeah, no kidding. Just tell Sarah. Yeah. Sarah's been like trying to get them for the show. She's like, can I just get like 2? You know,
So they should become more available in the next month, really. You know, they should start hitting the Best Buy shelves and Amazon, and should be highly available in the May-June timeframe.
And I just want to say, first and foremost, because I know we're coming to kind of the end of this segment right here, but thank you so much, obviously, Colin, for even answering some of the questions that you guys did ask. I think I covered all of them that I could, right? Like, there's some that we just can't ask, right? Like, I just want to be aware, but I think there was like only one. Everything else you guys, we did throw at it. I wasn't afraid to ask Colin a question. I wasn't afraid to get a little spicy, because I always like, you know, like when you really kind of think about it, guys, I think some of the stuff, like people are saying, well, I'd rather, you know, one question was, I'd rather have a desktop. Remember, there is no one size fits all for tech. Everybody is different, and it is such a personal experience, and what one person needs may be very different than what you need. And so there's a lot of excitement specifically in the laptop space, especially for somebody who makes content in that area, for what these things are going to unlock for people who need this kind of portability and do stuff like this on the go. Figment was a great example of, she has somebody who, he travels, he's a helicopter individual, has to travel all over the place. And I'll be honest, guys, helicopters, you get 300 pounds is your storage, you know, on private planes and stuff like that. So you ain't putting no 30-pound desktop back there, you know, along with all the other stuff that you need to live, unless you're just like, I'm not gonna change clothes. I'm just gonna wear the same clothes and carry around my gaming setup, right? Like, it's pretty amazing when you know, like, oh, I can take this Scar, which, yeah, it's hefty, but it's nowhere near as hefty as it used to be, and have a 5090, you know, Core Ultra gaming experience on this thing, on this beautiful mini LED display, which I just want to game on right now. That's what I want to do, Colin.
The funny thing is, you mentioned small form factor, and a lot of those are actually running these same mobile chips.
Yep.
You know, so.
Yep, that is actually very true. Go ahead, Sarah.
Colin, overwhelmingly, the community said they loved having you in as a special guest. So it was great
Anytime,
having you.
happy.
And if they have more questions after this, it sounds like you are going to be coming back. So
Yes.
Okay.
So next Wednesday we'll be on Discord with. If you want to get even more into detail, the lead product engineer, Greg Boots, will be there along with a couple other people from my side. We'll be on our Discord for AMA, so we'll really looking forward to that. I think it's scheduled for, is it 9 a.m. Wednesday, Sarah?
9 a.m. Pacific time. So for those of you that are interested in going even deeper with Colin and other product engineers, look out for Discord and sign up for that so you make sure you get notifications.
And that's an AMA, right? So that's like really asking, that's asking all the questions, right?
Yep. You get to ask.
Whoa, hello.
Exactly.
There's that
And
music.
now it's time, guys. It's
Yeah.
time to transition to the, not
The
that this
game.
wasn't fun. This is definitely fun, but this is a different kind of fun, right?
I
You're
think,
awesome.
yeah, I love these kind of conversations. And then, I actually really appreciate, I saw some comments in chat. People are like, thank you for bringing on special guests, right? So that's always a fun thing. Let's go to here. Look what's ready. I already hear the music. I'm gonna pause this other music. Okay, there we go. So Expedition 33, Colin, I wish you were playing too. So I'm sorry that you're not able to play. You're just here with us. I'm behind where you were. A little bit.
Yeah. No, I was excited for this one. I didn't purchase it for myself as well. So I downloaded it yesterday. I played a couple hours last night, and honestly, I had to stop. Somebody had to stop me because I would have kept playing. I'm really looking forward to finishing this game out. It's just so much of it is so, if anybody, jumps through cutscenes, do not do it on this game. You've got to enjoy the story and the cutscenes and the music, which is just haunting and glorious. I can't say enough on how impressed I've been playing. Yeah.
And then the one thing I'm gonna say, guys, sorry, it sounds like the music didn't quite stop, and I do not want to take away from the soundtrack of this game because the music is just so good. And hopefully you guys can hear it. Okay. Oh, way too loud as usual. Okay, Viptis, we'll turn it down. Thank you for your. I've turned it down.
Wait,
Yes.
I think the chat is asking if you could, give us a little bit of a recount
Yes.
of what has happened. And
Yes,
the
I will.
premise
I like.
for all of us.
Viptis is so he's so blunt. Okay, I turned the volume down, so it's not 11 now. Hopefully it's good. I'm just gonna make sure it's good. So I will give you a recount of what's happened here in just a second, for sure. But I want to make sure that we're good, audio-wise. Nobody's said anything, so I'm assuming you're good. Okay, so here's what happened. Let me give you the history of the story of this game. There's this thing that's called the fracture. And about 67 years prior to this date, the fracture happened. And basically this fracture, they created this person called the Paintress. And the Paintress basically, every year, she paints a new number, and then people can only live to be that age. So at the beginning of the game, and what was the name of it again? It starts with a G. I can never remember the name of
Gamage.
The Gamage, which is such an interesting name. So at the very beginning of the game, there is a woman. I can assume that you love each other, or you're really into each other. And Colin, feel free to jump in here. But you meet up with this girl who's about to go through the Gamage. The Gamage is basically, as soon as they change the clock down, then all of those people basically turn into flower petals. And so there's this whole moment that you and this girl who you've been avoiding but you have feelings for go down and spend this time together, and you then watch her disappear right in front of you, and it's a very melancholy type thing. Well, one of the things that happened on the first year, so Expedition 0, is the people in the city would send people to go and defeat the Paintress. And since then, they've been sending the people who have like about a year left of their life off to go fight this battle. And you are, this main character, Gustav, are part of Expedition 33, so the 33rd expedition to go in there, but you have some new tricks up your sleeve, and so you have now landed on the coast. You meet a guy who's way older and should have been like eradicated, but then cuts off the main leader's head. A bunch of people die. You think you're dead, but then now you wake up, and that's where I'm kind of picking it up. Did I miss anything, Colin? Did I do a pretty good job?
You did a great job.
Okay.
You know, the whole scene with the people disappearing, it was kind of like the second last Avengers game.
Yes.
But
He
it was slower.
snapped
and they
his-
disappeared
snapped his
into
fingers,
rose
yeah.
petals, and it was just so moving. I don't
I
think
think-
I had that kind of moment in a game.
Yeah. I think the fact that she was the last one to disappear, I had a little bit of a, okay, come on. She's really the last one. But like,
Well,
I
yeah,
understood why emotionally, but I was like,
she had just turned 33, they said. So maybe maybe she was the youngest of that group.
I covered all the spoilers? What are you talking about? That was literally in the first,
That was
like,
just the intro.
that's the intro.
You didn't even get to the title screen yet.
Didn't even get to like when the party dies.
And so this is where I'm at right now, is literally the beginning right after the intro has happened. So Gustav woke up. He's all bloody. And he's now showing up after waking up. Now, I actually did go get all the tokens, Colin, so I like got my hairdo. I have the old key. And and then the other thing that you guys do need to know about this, the combat in this is actually very cool. So it is a mixed, it's turn-based turn-based RPG, but it has almost these real-time moments where with parry, with dodge, and even with input where you can pull off bonus damage and stuff like that. And so there's a great fight with your guardian, this young girl that you're watching over because her parents were older and they disappeared, where you get to learn about the fighting mechanics. I didn't understand how it's hard. There's genuinely a challenge there. Do you need to do it? Not necessarily, because you can still level up and stuff like that, but it is really, really rewarding when you pull it off. I don't know, what do you think, Colin?
Absolutely. The gameplay here, I mean, the dodging, parrying, you know, I mean, I saw somebody say, you know, you can actually play the whole game without losing any power if you just dodge properly and parry properly.
Wow.
And that in itself is kind of incredible thought. But yeah, I mean, I got to a point where I liked attacking guys. You know what I mean? So I like to see the animations from the characters who are attacking you, and it's just all of the character animations are incredible. You know, I will say, you know, for people who like to see everything, you'll get to certain points where it'll say, "Are you ready to proceed? Yes, no." And that's one of those points where it will actually not let you go back. So like when you start the expedition at the beginning, it asks you if you're done in the harbor, you know. And so if there's things you want to do, like you talked about, little things in the harbor, you know, that is where, you know, you want to make sure you do all that. You check everything out before you move to the next area. I appreciated the fact that we didn't. You don't have to track so much inventory like you do in some games. It's more about you know, leveling up your skills, leveling up your weapons, and you know, gaining new skills. It's a really fun game.
I'm looking at this. So now this is new to me. Apparently, you can aim.
Shoot him in the head.
Yeah, that's where I was gonna go. I mean, that feels like the. Oh, okay, wow, that was a lot of damage.
Oh yeah. So that's the other thing, is each of these characters, there's usually a kind of a sweet spot where you can hit them in the first, and depending on if you attack or you aim and shoot, that first shot is usually good. But remember, your shots, you've only got 4. Like you know, you gotta conserve if you want to use skills or anything. But yeah, you know, there's definitely some strategy to how you attack the characters.
He looks so much like Robert Pattinson, doesn't he? Though
he does. That's what I thought too.
he looks like I like you. You might finish this game and then be like, I need to go watch Twilight or Batman. You know what I mean? Because
yeah, he does. That's what I thought too.
Good Batman.
And so, and then, yeah, so the combat is very unique. And the other thing, too, is that, from what I understand, the main story, if you can finish the main quest in about 35 hours, which actually doesn't necessarily bother me, and there's about 20 or so hours of extra content if you wanted to, if you want to add. So you could stretch this out to 50 hours, which means that's why Sarah's going to be beating it by in the next week, right, Sarah? Isn't that what we decided? Or no, maybe that wasn't it.
Again, you overestimate my gaming ability. It says 38. That means 80 for me.
So the other cool thing, which you haven't gotten quite to, is when you start picking up other characters and building your party. One of the first characters you're going to run into shortly is Luna. I don't know. Lune. 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 But what I like is the ability that it gives you just to kind of swap between the characters, and like his run is a typical run. You pull the trigger and he runs. With her, when you run, she flies.
Oh, really? Oh.
So she just skims. She just skims along the top of her whole body. She just kind of skims along the top of the ground when she's running.
And I could run through this section, but look at just look at how beautiful the game is. It's just so pretty.
Yeah.
It's really good looking.
What I liked was how different the characters are. He is definitely more of a, he's got his sword, he's got his weapons, where she's definitely a sorceress, magician, something, and her skill sets are very different than his. And I think, as you play the game, you gain more and more to your party, and you control them all. So,
These people are all dead, guys.
Really fun.
There's a lot of dead expedition people here. I just realized I'm like running through bodies. Yeah. And there wasn't that many people on the expedition.
You're about to run into her. I'm giving it away.
Wow, so there's not a lot of, it looks like a lot of the expedition people died here.
Oh yeah. And the other thing to note, which they kind of note, is the fact that the bodies are still here.
Yeah, that they didn't disappear. Yeah.
Yeah, they've lost their color or their chroma.
Yeah.
And so their bodies just sit around. Yeah.
That honestly, the world that these guys have built, very impressive. Like it creates intrigue. Like I'm trying to do my best Alex like external speaker, because Alex will be like, I'm walking, now I'm stopping.
There's some flowers. Oh, look, it's a green flower. Oh,
yeah, exactly.
Oh my God, look at that.
Oh wow, that dude's like floating.
Oh yeah. Well, you're about to run into another character, so I won't give it away.
So that's all his people. These are all the 33 people.
Oh, so it's from
a lot of them are his people, and as you play the game, you run into different parties in different places, and they kind of have their flag stuck, and it's their flag where you can reset your skills. You can refill your that potion elixir that you carry. I think you have one at the beginning.
Yeah, I do. I have one.
And every time you reset it, the flag, it basically it does like a lot of games do. It regenerates all but the major bad guys. But it regenerates the bad guys in the area. But it gives you elixir, and it refills your health and everything.
He's about to shoot himself in the head.
Oh, see, Looney. Yeah, he's about to shoot himself in the head, but.
Well, that was dark. That was very Persona.
It got pretty dark there.
You both die.
Yep. I think it's Looney.
Oh yeah, I remember her.
Yeah.
She plays the guitar.
She was kind of strange. Well, she had that glowing thing at the market too, or the festival.
Fucking hell. Wake up, Gustav.
She got glyphs on her face.
So in a minute, you'll get to play her and see what her run is like. She flies.
Yeah, the story in this game is so good.
Left.
Luna Lovegood. Oh no, that's Harry Potter, guys.
That is Harry Potter. I got completely sucked in by the storyline too. It's so good.
We're already dead.
Yeah, this is probably going to be my game of tonight.
Look.
This is not a foregone conclusion.
Besides me and Alex doing a remote dinner date, right, Alex?
I will admit,
I know.
I downloaded
you.
Oblivion
Get
too,
up.
but
We need to find a safer place. There are Nevrons around.
Lucian.
This is not the place.
get up.
There
Yeah,
goes
you
the
sound like me.
developer.
I'm like, get up, you. Oh, okay.
So now you get to play as,
Converter seems intact.
you know, you push in on the
about
left
time
thumb
we
stick
test
and
it in
switch
real
between you and
conditions.
her, but when you're walking,
Come on,
know
Robert
what it
Patterson,
would
be Batman.
yeah.
Putain.
I think he meant to say poutine. He wants some poutine.
I think that's a French swear word. Might be wrong.
Oh, I was thinking of like the French fries with mayonnaise.
I just the way he uses it, you know, I mean, because he uses it quite a few times, and it sounds like he uses it as a cuss word.
Okay, that was the like definitely the place to hit him. Oh, that was
Oh, aha! Putain is translated into English as damn.
Oh.
Hope you don't.
Oh, wait, look at the
Need
French
to
one.
blurb
Alright,
me.
yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so she has different. Okay, Loon's.
Yeah, this is what I like. You know, her skill set is completely different.
So
He has
we
stains.
we are. Make sure. So we're playing Claire Obscure 33. Or for those
Yes.
guys just joining us in.
Ice.
And then that's the thing. See how they had the A guys, and I didn't hit it right. It said slow, but that is what I was talking about. Each one of these, like there's sometimes there's prompts that you have to hit to get extra.
Oh yeah, yeah. Kind of that God of War trailing buttons.
Yeah, they're called. Oh man, what are they called? Real time RT. Because I worked on Rise Son of Rome, and then we used them a lot in that. So he's debuffed.
He's pretty easy to dodge.
Okay. Okay. Oh, they both parry. Oh, look
Yeah.
at that.
Yeah. Well, there are times depending on if the big guy can attack two people at once.
So I guess you find that by that after you get hit in both.
Well, usually they attack one of your characters, and then their final blow will be at both. But you can hit the dodge or parry, and it will do it with both characters. So.
Feel the burn.
There we go.
Down.
We continue, guys. We continue.
Yep.
We did it.
I think they need a shower, guys. Just so you know, they look a little.
Let's see if your invention lives up to its reputation, shall we?
The music is really good.
And this is why
It
his
really
expedition
works.
is supposed to be successful versus the old ones. He's invented some
We're not dead yet.
new technology. I don't know.
Come on. There might be other survivors of the Indigo Tree.
He's invented an NPU, and this is
He's yeah, he's invented something.
there's
This
our
is
whole
supposed to
illustration still works through and throughout the entire thing. Okay, so now I'm her.
So run with her.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
Each character has Lumias associated with their pictos.
Oh yeah, you have a picto to dodge now. You can assign to one of your characters.
Okay. Okay, so I got to do show loon page, and then you have pictos too.
Yeah, just select the character and then the pictos down there.
It's telling me all the
You-
stuff.
You can add it to her or him depending on which one you want. Oh yeah, you're still in the.
Oh, good. I can
tutorial.
change the haircut. I wasn't like when I got it. I was like, I don't know if I like this haircut.
It does give you a special potion you can use limitedly to rebalance your skills to.
Okay, so she gets AP from dodge now, is what it looks
Yeah.
like. Okay.
Yeah.
And then we can go to
Yeah.
we can do it here, and then we can. So you have his skills, which we're nothing really cherry and cheer. I don't have any additional pictos. And then, okay. Oh, wow. Okay, so if you run with her, oh, wow, she literally just floats.
Isn't it cool? It's so smooth. It's just like
She's almost like that. What's that, like that TikTok run?
Oh, the Naruto.
Oh, where you can't see him
Naruto.
shift?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
That's the thing is I want to look everywhere because like even when you did the intro, I don't know if there was cash that you could pick up in certain places. So it's like I want to look everywhere.
You really need to, because there's a lot of.
Yeah, she's barefoot. She's got stronger feet than us, you and I, Alex. We're like I'm not doing that. She can run through poison oak and not even have an issue, unlike certain people I know.
Come on, people. We're complaining about it. At least she knows it's poison oak. On other people, like they're just jumping head first.
Wait, do all of them not have an? Oh, his arm is mechanical. Hers, she just has a glove.
Yeah. And you know you push in on the thumbstick to switch between the two.
Yeah, I just did that.
Yep.
Ooh,
Oh yeah. This game is gorgeous. And this is, by the way, guys, this is on a, for people, and you're probably like, hey, what are you playing on? This is a Core Ultra 285K 5090 system. So. But we did play this on lesser, like, so their benchmarking tool is actually pretty good at finding optimal settings. We saw that yesterday because we played this a little bit yesterday, just checking it out with the 5070, and it also ran beautifully at 1440p. So. It seems like they did a really good job of their performance, performance profiling too. During your journey, you find expedition flags set up by. Oh, and this is what the kids wanted you to get. So this is Expedition 1.
So, I don't know if you're picking anything up, but this is the kind of save point. You know, you can rest and it'll refill everything. You can change your skills and attributes here if you have them. So you've got 3 points to use, and you'll have 3 points for both him and her.
Oh, okay. Wow, that's good. So we'll do add some might.
And as you can see, if you pick up a recoat down there, it'll let you rebalance them.
Got him. That feels good. I'm gonna be like balanced here.
Be sure you hit A to finalize them. Hold it down. Yep.
Oh, how do I? Okay, that was her. Oh, there it is. Yeah, go.
Then you can actually switch to her and do hers.
So critical rate feels like that's a good. Whoa, whoa. I wasn't gonna do all 3 there. That's some defense in there. There we go.
Defense.
So if you look over on the right, it shows a combination of their characteristics and the weapons they're carrying, as far as like how hard they're hitting. Because his sword carries a certain amount, and he does.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is like the save point because I've rested.
Yeah. It rested. It gave you, if you had used the chroma elixir over there, which, by the way, the chroma elixir fills up your whole party.
Yeah, which and that's like, and I don't want to use it now, but I did. You used it at the beginning of the game because you had like 1 hit point.
Yeah. Yeah. Every time you hit one of those flags and rest, it refills it.
And then I'm guessing it also makes all the enemies disappear.
It makes the enemies reappear, except for the big ones.
So it's like, it's Souls-like, right?
Yeah.
And then right bumper, you get first strike.
Yep. Boom. Nice one. Even the cut to the fight seems good. Flowers.
Oh, I can't shoot him anymore.
Later on, they'll tell you that shooting with your gun is really best for flying bad guys, even if they're just floating above the ground.
So you need
and,
AP.
and it becomes a little bit like Pokemon, because there are certain bad guys who are more susceptible to flame or to ice, and maybe the lightning doesn't affect them at all. You know, so you kind of have to learn bad guys, what works best against them. Nice Nice dodge.
Yeah, I dodged that one. I didn't dodge the first one, unfortunately.
So the dodge is easier because you have a longer space that you can hit. The parry, you use the right trigger, right bumper to parry. It's harder to pull off, but it can cause some it can cause some extra hit points if you perform it right.
So I got a new
Have you
weapon.
done-
Huh?
Have you done I saw some footage when the people were doing perfect. Have you?
Yeah, so that's just you hit, if you time the dodge perfectly, it'll give you a perfect, and if you parry, it'll give you a perfect. If you dodge and it's not perfect, it'll just say dodge. But if you get a perfect, I think it gives you back some like hit points or something. There's a whole balance to it, where if you're really good at dodging and parrying, you can actually do some damage back with them.
So now I have skills, so you can learn another skill.
Yeah. Powerful or marking shot? I didn't mark
We can do
marking
healing
shot.
light, which makes sense. Let's do.
Yeah, I'm bad about not healing other people. I want the powerful hits.
And we're already learning a little bit about the difference between Roby and Colin.
Ventura, if you're
Everybody in need of
playing.
temperance goes, I wasn't paying attention, then I looked up and saw Robert Patterson from Twilight. I'm like, yep. Yeah, so if you go back and rest, then it's Souls-like in the fact that then all the enemies come back.
Yeah, yeah.
A storm is coming.
Yeah, I wanna like the parry. I haven't figured out the timing on the parry yet. So
Yeah, there's just less of a window, but it will
Brace yourself.
heal back damage if you hit it perfect.
oh, that was not it.
Where the dodge is easier, it does nothing.
Oh, that was also not it. I tried parry on both of those.
Yeah, he did some damage with that one.
So dodge, I was not very good at the parry or the dodge. I want to parry, like it's just you just got to learn it though.
Yeah.
And that's the thing is
It's
all
all
of the
about
enemies are, you have to learn. Each enemy is different is one of the things that
Yep.
they said.
Their attacks are different.
Yeah.
So one moment they might hit you fast, and the next moment they may wind up a bunch and then swing at you.
And then the other thing too is that there are things that you'll get access to later, like movement skills that can help you. Like you might see things you may not be able to get access to, until you get a certain skill. Oh, I got a critical burn.
Yeah,
Interesting.
eventually you'll be able to jump to dodge too.
Oh.
I'm not at that point, but I did see some news about that.
I'm gonna
Which
go up
makes
here.
sense. If they're attacking low, why not be able to jump it? Yeah, there's lots of little side spots like this. They're definitely worth looking for because they
Oh.
always have stuff like this at it.
I didn't see the guy behind me. Oh,
Oh,
crud.
he followed you up there. Wow.
Oh! Counter!
What happened when he attacked first?
Oh, I missed that one.
Chrome is flowing.
Upper flying spin kick.
Yeah, that's pretty much this game is.
I'll do it.
Oh, counter!
Nice.
There we go.
Yep.
That was a lot. Like I felt.
Yep.
Sometimes it's just like it feels like natural where to hit it, and then other times you're like, yeah. And you have to be patient. You want to push that
Yeah.
button. Yeah. So there's a little bit.
And
of,
you can't spam the button either.
no. There's actually skill involved, guys.
Yes. Yes.
But then not just button smashing.
No.
Like
I mean,
smash
you
buttons.
know, you can button smash the dodge, but you'll still get hit half the time probably.
Is that?
It's not like how we
Looks
play
abandoned.
fighting games, Alex.
Oh, I went on for that.
You're not supposed to tell them that. That's our secret.
Oh,
This will be
sorry.
useful.
We just smash it.
Sorry.
Like, how do I do that? I don't know.
Me
I'm
some
smashing
Soul
buttons.
Calibur.
Yeah, exactly.
So there's like houses in here and stuff.
The hard thing
The
about the
Indigo
fighting
Tree's not
games
too
is,
far from here.
you know, if you have
If anyone
children
else made it, they'll regroup
and
there.
they button smash,
Yeah.
Yeah,
they can actually beat you button smashing.
Yeah, I know, it's the worst.
It's humbling to have a 6-year-old beat you button smashing.
I've heard.
I'm like, quit doing the same move over and over and over.
And they're like, why? I'm winning. And you're like,
Win
well,
what?
that's not the point.
Yeah.
Man, this game is pretty.
Oh yeah. I love the way they handle multiple levels.
Here we
using
are.
The grappling hook
Yeah.
like that too.
The continent.
There's more over here,
The
though.
Indigo
So you
Tree's
get,
over
yeah,
there.
there's stuff over to the right, but the main story would have been straight. This is just,
Extra stuff. This is
Extra
what
stuff.
this is what you
Fun
get.
stuff.
Extra stuff.
yeah.
Well, that will help.
How is like? Is it? I haven't obviously haven't played it. So to stay within the main story, right? Is it easy to stay within main story? Because sometimes
Nice.
some games that I play, or maybe it's most likely me. I just like keep going up on tangents and tangents,
So
and I forget the main story.
the first 2 hours or so, which we're still in here, it's very just character story driven direction, you know. Eventually you get to a place where it's more of an overhead map,
Mm-hmm.
and it almost looks like you're looking down at it like Diablo or something, but that's kind of a central area where you choose where you're going to the next area, you know. And so it opens up quite a bit. It's very story driven in the beginning, but I'm really looking forward to where it goes from here, because it does open up more and give you a little more choice in which direction to go. Because, you know, the whole beginning they're trying to get to this indigo tree to meet up with
We can
other
use that.
people from the expedition, you know, to hopefully get together and fight. But eventually here he runs into a message saying, you know, one of the characters is somewhere else, and it's his, you know,
The little girl.
the little girl who's his, yeah. And so he kind of thinks, you know, do I keep on the story, go to the indigo tree, or do I follow you know, my friend? So it gives you some options, things to do. It's
Roma is
and
flown.
I'm still very early on, so this isn't really giving much away. But, very, very cool.
There we go. The other thing too that's actually super interesting as well is just that. So the main story is like that. It's very focused. That's what one of the things he said is. It's like
Yep.
it doesn't have that like overwhelming, like that overwhelming sense where it's like you know what I mean. It is driving you towards a conclusion, and even the side stuff isn't that much of a departure.
Yeah.
So I think you'll enjoy that aspect of it, Alex.
Yeah, I think I like that. Unfortunately, I'm like a squirrel. I'm like, ooh, quest, ooh, quest, ooh, quest. It's like, ooh. So yeah, so and then I was like, wait, what was I
Well, and-
supposed to do first?
You kind of spend a little while going, okay, because it doesn't give you any direction here in the beginning. There's no map. There's no, you know, you just kind of have to keep going until you get to a point where it's time to, and then, you know, like I said, I'm 2.5 hours in it, and it opens up this map, which is all clouded with a little tiny spot in the middle. So the game is huge underneath it. But I feel just at the beginning, really, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm hoping putting him, but I guess I can reset these later. So it's oops, I keep doing that. Keep forgetting to upgrade her.
I love that moment where you get, and all of a sudden you're like, I haven't even scratched the surface.
Oh yeah,
Um,
yeah.
I remember that
pretty
not Shadows, but the Assassin's Creed, and then it was like the one with Connor, and then you're like, I think I'd been playing for 3 hours, and then all of a sudden it was like you got the title screen, and you're like, what? Like what?
Well, you haven't seen the title screen yet, have you?
I had. It was right when you. It was right
Oh, it
after.
was right as you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, it's a good hour and a half into the game
Yep.
or something, and before you see it here. And you know, getting to the map I'm talking about, I had just got to it. You know, eventually you get to a point where you've got a couple other characters in your party, and so you're managing everybody and you're fighting with everybody, and I can't wait till we get to that point.
Sorry, the AC turned on over here and it's a little chilly.
Does the kangaroo get cold?
Yes, kangaroo's getting a little cold.
I kind of feel like I want to give. Okay, I'm gonna take this off.
I put dodge on him.
Yeah, I think I put
and
dodge
burn
on him.
her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna get rid of this critical burn. Swap. There we go. There we go. That's better.
And I don't know if you saw that, but they get upgraded. Like the dodge one, the more you dodge, it like upgrades the dodge. And so there's stats on the Pictos.
It's such a weird name, Pictos.
Yeah.
What are Pictos?
What are Luminas? Well, that was on
such
that
an
was on
engineer
the right,
answer right there.
on the right hand side of the
Sir,
screen. It
you
said
are
you
correct.
had Luminos. I'm like, I don't even know what that is yet.
It's your currency. I do know that. I'm waiting for this guy so I can go run into him. Oh, come on.
So you get first strike.
There we go. Want that first hit. This guy's a little slow.
No, he sees you. Still gonna get it. Yep. Yeah, he's one of those characters that the first time you beat him, you know, a lot of games will do that. They'll make it, oh, it's a big deal, you're beating him, and all of a sudden, you know, an hour later, you're fighting 3 of him.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden you're like, wait a minute, this is not as easy as I thought it was.
Well, it's not as hard as it was when it was just him.
Oops, that did not do it.
It was pretty easy to dodge.
I took a hit.
I think the guy you just beat is very susceptible to flame.
Yeah, I
This
didn't
is
have
why
the
her stuff is
AP to
doing good.
use it though.
But even her standard attack uses it.
Oh.
It's flame with the weapon you've got on her,
Nice.
I think.
And you guys think that engineers don't play games? This is pretty much this
Right?
guy's like. I mean, he's like literally the whole time. He's like, I think that. This is why engineers make great gamers. Well, I think.
I was.
You
I
know,
was
a
telling-
big part of what we do. You know, I talked about. You know, we talk to customers, but a lot of it is communicating with our own engineers and saying, hey, we need this. We need this in the next processor. You know, if there's something that's missing, something we think will make a huge change. You know, we help to drive decision making, which is why it's important for us to get out and talk to people like you guys in the community to understand what people need.
Don't they just say they need faster horses?
No, but when they come to you and they say, oh, for the next one, we're going to have hundreds of cores, we get to say, gamers don't need hundreds of cores.
Yeah.
They need 8 fast ones.
Not hundreds.
You know, I mean, it's setting reality and expectations. You know.
Oh, that did not work. Okay, so this is shooting.
I had Chippy
Yeah, I
on
think
the.
I think his pistol is more. But yeah, these are flying guys, so it said shoot them.
Yeah, they dodge.
Yeah, because they'll dodge the ground attacks.
Okay, you got 2 shots out of that.
I'll do it.
And I think the way it goes is using your standard attack will give you 1 back. So every time you use a standard attack, you get an extra shot back. And those shots also you use for your skills. So.
Feel the burn.
Oh, they
Roll
dodged.
them back. Yeah.
Oh. she was doing not so good.
Oh wow, yeah, she was.
I'm out of the. Oh wait, hold on. Oh, I still can't heal. Dodge.
Take cover.
There we go.
Nice.
Take him down. Rune, watch out!
Oh, that did not work at all.
You did it perfect, and he dodged it.
Okay, got him. But I'm in bad shape, so I need to go rest.
Yeah, or you can hit Y and use that. Use your elixir.
Yeah, let's see if I run into another enemy, I can do that.
But if you go rest, it will respawn those guys you just beat.
Yeah. There's so much, like the game is big. But the good thing is, guys, the combat is a challenge. Oh, see, there's another dude right there. So he's kind of blocking that way. Okay, there's a rope over here, though. See what this is gonna do. Just trying to see what else is around here.
Yep.
Blue trees.
Something's disrupting
Just little
the
side
chroma
paths
around
where you
here.
pick up more chroma or
careful.
whatever, and kind of enjoy the view. It's an incredible view from up there.
It's a green tree, guys. Very green.
Yeah, this is the whole chroma thing they keep talking about. I don't know if it's something's affecting the ground,
Nice.
taking the chroma from the trees.
Don't take the chroma. Stop taking my chroma, Alex.
Put it all away.
Yeah, lots. Ooh, there's something over there. Wait, so this is another. So there's down there, and then there's over here.
Yep.
Yes, there's a lot of. It's way more open than I kind of
It
anticipated.
opens up a lot now. Yeah, you're at a point where it really does start opening up.
This guy doesn't see me. Let's go. Okay. Oh, there's 3 of them. Okay. That is not a.
Called it. He told you.
I know, but I wasn't ready for it. Let's go ahead and kill. What? Oh, it's a. Oh, that's right. It's flying. That was stupid.
Get ready.
Nice dodge.
Oh no, that was a bad parry though.
Boom. Yep.
That was a really bad parry.
Ouch.
Oh, dang it. Not a good parry as well. No good parrying there. That was all bad parrying. There we go. He's gone.
Her defense skills up. She takes a lot of hard hits.
Yeah, she really does. I'm gonna use that to kill this guy. Oh, it didn't kill him all the way. What? Okay, we're gonna have to do. Oh, didn't miss. Dang, missed.
Let the ink flow.
Painful, dude.
Nope. Let's see what I got. You have like almost no. I guess I can do.
Take him down.
Okay, Marcus is oh, character damage. Oh, okay. So we got 5. So now she takes.
Storm is coming.
Now he takes a lot of hits. Okay, let's.
Yeah. So you mark him, and then anybody else after that.
Okay, there's some nice healing there.
Power. Oh, nice.
Oh, dang it! Did not dodge.
I'm taking notes for later.
Let
Yeah,
us
me too.
stain them.
Taking notes from the plane.
They take a lot of hits. I mean, like, when you take hits, you take big hits, right? Like, this is not, like... Definitely some impact here.
Yep.
And that timing is critical.
An advantage.
We still have the whole other area down at the bottom I haven't gotten to yet. If I keep going up here, see, I think I'm going to go down and see what's at that other enemy. Oh, yeah, you tell him. You tell him.
My dog's getting into it too.
That's awesome. Pug's like, the chroma's low.
Bug lag.
Man, this game is actually, what do you guys think? The game's cool.
It's really cool. I have bad news though.
What?
No.
What's the bad
It
news?
is that time.
Oh.
Is it really 2? Oh my gosh, it really is.
Getting started.
It's
Okay.
just about to. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. What the heck, guys?
Time passes when you're having fun.
Time passes when you're having a good time. Okay. Oh, I gotta... Well, what do you guys think? I mean, that game is looking great. And that looks, yeah, I agree. Expedition 33. You know, it's funny because I think we saw this game... I don't remember where we saw the preview for it, but it was
Last year.
yeah, it was one of the ones that we actually got really excited about. And then now that it's actually here, I think this will be my tonight gameplay for sure. Time, Roby, it is time. That's what everybody's saying. Yeah. The soundtrack is really, really good. I do have to agree with that as well. So there's a lot to kind of get here. And I think like if that takes me at like 2 like I'm at like that was probably an hour of gameplay, so I'm at like 88 minutes, I think, right there, in terms of where I was, because I spent a lot of time in the intro, Colin. Like I was spending, like, looking at everything and all that sort of stuff. But
I kind of feel like I didn't spend enough in the intro after, because I talked to a bunch of people, and then I went to the harbor, and it cut me off from the rest of the town, and I was like, oh, maybe I should have looked around a little more.
yeah, there was some interesting things. Like it was more just exposition on like why, like how people were dealing with what was happening and all that sort of stuff, but it was still super interesting. And now I'm guessing what Alex is doing is Alex is putting it on his laptop right now because he's going to play it on the plane or whatever it was. But Alex, are you in Melbourne for the rest of your life, mate?
Yeah, mate.
Yeah, mate. I'm moving.
Macca's run for breakfast. I'm gonna have some lovely coffee. Actually, Melbourne. I didn't know that. Melbourne's a huge coffee enthusiast place.
Oh,
and
okay.
It's actually really, really, really good, and they're very proud about their coffee, which they should be because it's amazing. Pastries are great. Yeah, I'm not going back, mate.
Okay. Well then, but you will be back. We're back not next week, but the week
Next
after,
Friday.
right? Oh, next Friday. Oh, we're back next Friday.
We have a back-to-back this time, so we are back on May 2nd.
Okay, we're back on May 2nd, and Alex will be joining us back from the United States in our terrible Starbucks coffee.
Yes.
But what do we have a preview of what's coming up next week, Sarah?
No, it's going to be a surprise.
Anyway, guys, huge thank you, Colin, for joining us for the entire show,
Thank you, Colin.
for doing this deep dive and like helping people understand HX and why people should be excited. Guys, the laptops are coming soon. They are out. They're hard to get, but they are coming. People are asking about Core Ultra. I think availability we're looking at much stronger over the next 60 plus days, right, Colin?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, so keep your eye out, and there's some really, really great form factors like the Scar, which I know people were enamored by the graphics. It's actually just sitting here on my desk, and it still just kind of sits here and does its like active lighting and stuff like that, which is actually pretty cool. Anyway,
Well,
guys,
I
we will
think
see you
that
guys.
one is like
Go ahead, Colin.
one button to remove the back panel on that thing. It's
Yeah,
crazy.
dude.
Yeah.
I was saving that because we're like Sarah was like, don't talk too much about it.
We'll
Yeah.
get into it.
We'll get into it.
We'll get into it.
Yeah, yeah.
It's an awesome.
We'll
It's an
get there.
awesome.
Yeah,
it's an
we'll
awesome
get
one.
there. Anyway,
Cool.
guys, that is it for us for
Thank
this week. Thank you so much for joining us. We will be back on Friday. And then also, don't forget, Colin, AMA coming up. If you want to just ask more questions, get more deep dive, it is an Ask Me Anything. I don't know about his Tinder profile or anything like that, if that'll be up there. But, the other questions that are much more tech focused. That sort of thing. Colin, if people want to get more information about you or follow you or anything like that, is there something they can do to do so? Or not really?
I'm on LinkedIn.
Okay,
if
there you
people
go.
Look me on LinkedIn. I have a pretty unusual name, so it's pretty easy to find.
Okay.
But also, if I'm out gaming, it's Ventura.
Okay.
So if
Well, there it is.
if you run into a Ventura, it might be me.
Okay. Well, there it is, guys. Anyway, guys, that's it for us. Have a great rest of your weekend, and we'll see you guys next week for a new episode. Bye, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.